The Creative Process Podcast with Peter Papagiorgio and Catherine Natali.
Welcome to the Creative Process Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Papagiorgio, with my beautiful wife,
Catherine Natali. And of course, everyone always knows Chanel Bella. She's also in the house.
Chanel's in the house. That's our little baby there.
And I noticed today, Peter, we both are wearing blue.
Wow. I just realized that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
our minds were syncing.
Well, blue is my favorite color, so.
That's true. It matches your blue eyes.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Anyway, Catherine, you want to introduce our guest for today?
Yeah, Nancy Jean Gray. She's a versatile performer. She does Mrs. Claus. She's award-winning. She's an actress, a singer, ventriloquist. Ventriloquist.
Magician? She's a magician.
Yeah. She's done it all. She's worked in L.A., she's done parties. She's done everything. And today we're going to explore what it's like to work with puppets and the process of that and entertaining children, because children can upstage you, right, Nancy?
Absolutely.
They can. When I was an actress and I was doing children's theater back in New York, I was upstaged a lot by kids. They would get into the story and they would just come up on stage. And of course, the moms were always in the back. And we were constantly, okay, little girl, all right, have a seat.
I'm sure the moms are like, oh, that's my little boy up there.
Yeah. Oh, how cute. Let's take a
cute.
picture, And so
You're ruining my damn scene.
the process. When you're on stage and you're going through that artistic process, but anyway, we love kids. So
anyway, so Nancy, you want to tell us, tell the audience about yourself? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born in Washington, D.C., and I lived all kinds of places. Was in the D.C., Maryland area for my early part up to about third grade. Then I went to Michigan, and from there we went to Melbourne, Australia. And then we came back to...
Were you the child of a army brat or something?
My father was a meteorologist. He'd been in Little America, which was in Antarctica during IGY. And they had an international...
What's IGY?
It was International Geophysical Year.
Oh, okay.
And he was the head meteorologist there and in an international team. And when they came back, they decided Australia was pretty close to Antarctica, so they set up another station there. So.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Did you like Australia?
I loved Australia. That's where I got my first taste of real theater, saw my first Broadway show, saw my first magic show. And
what was the name of the show, the first one that you saw in Australia?
It was just a magician that came to our sixth grade class, but there was also an opera singer who came and sang about "Beware, take care, the green-eyed dragon with the 13 tail, beware." And it was just a lot of exposure. It was very inexpensive at that time to go see live theater. I saw Bye Bye Birdie. I saw Sound of Music.
Wow.
There, you could go get a balcony seats for less than
Wow.
$10.
Wow.
I was going to say $5-10 or something. Like
Wow.
That.
And they had and the school had all sorts of classes. We had lots of exposure to poetry, and that's where I first came across T.S. Eliot. And
T.S. Eliot, yeah.
Yes.
And I was very familiar with Old Parsons' Book of Practical Cats long before they made it into a musical.
So tell us about your process, because you have a lot of interesting puppets here.
Well, yeah.
And tell us how you go about making. I know you do make some of the puppets.
Did you make these puppets?
No, these puppets I did not make. They are purchased, but I have made puppets. I started making puppets in college because I found out I could do a puppet thing. I made a puppet for Moliere. Instead of writing a term paper, I'm going, well, this is much more exciting.
Wow.
So I did a whole scene with Moliere, and I made a puppet. And
Did you get an A?
I did.
So you're very visual.
Very visual. I also worked with a theater company in Milwaukee called Theater X, and we did adult puppetry that a lot of it was anti-war at the time.
Right.
Yeah, against,
Vietnam.
the way We did, in fact, we did a whole thing at the Summerfest show, against the draft. We pulled the draft thing out of the Tom's Toasted Peanut Butter Jar thing.
So is there a difference?
When you, I'm sorry, Catherine. When you make the puppets, do you sketch them out first and then say?
I sort of take it more from sometimes I do a rough sketch, but usually I work more as a sculptor, working that way visually. And I've done all kinds of different styles of puppetry. I've done shadow puppetry. I've done just rod puppets that didn't have movable mouths.
So what are rod puppets?
Rod puppets would be like there would be a head on a stick, and then you have each hand would have a rod on it, and so they wouldn't usually have feet, and so they could be operated from below.
From above. Oh, below.
In fact, I worked with Prince George's puppet players, and we did Peter and the Wolf with the symphony orchestra.
Nice.
Using these beautiful puppets designed by Alan Sherman. But let me tell you, they were so heavy. And, the timing was really, really tight on that because it was all timed to music.
So how do you, when you speak, you're not moving your mouth?
That's just with ventriloquism. With puppetry, that's a whole different thing.
Oh, okay. So that's what I guess people who are listening right now, that's my confusion because I'm thinking the puppets, you're not moving your mouth, you're saying singing a song or you're saying dialogue and so forth. So how do you do that with your mouth?
I just I taught myself ventriloquism. I was driving back and forth from the Florida Keys up to Miami to do a show for the Miami Herald's newspaper and Education Day.
So you were talking to yourself.
And so I started singing, and I found I could sing. Nary had a little lamb, and I had heard about the certain letters in ventriloquism or plosives, and so you can't go P, B, things like.
Yeah.
Hut, you have to sort of swallow with them.
Oh, you swallow with it.
The different words.
Really? How do you get the dialogue? When you look at the puppet and you make the puppet, how do you comprise how do you organically get that?
Well,
their voice is what I'm trying to say.
There's different. It's like when you're working as an actress.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a degree in theater, so
From
the University of Wisconsin Milwaukee, and basically, you look at your character attributes, you visualize. A lot of times, I'll hear a thing. Sometimes it's just improvising with the puppet to see what sounds best and what works for it. Like some of my puppets from my Mother Goose show, the one penguin's voice came because of a laugh I did.
So what's the penguin? Can you demonstrate it?
Nary had a little lamb, little lamb. And
Chanel's looking at her.
And I tell people, well, I don't talk to the hand. I talk with my hand.
Uh-huh.
Right, with your hand, yeah.
No, it's hard trying to coordinate the hand with the voice at the same. Like, how do you do that?
Basically, when I've taught children, I've gone into workshops with children. I tell them it's like they're spitting the words out because some people would tend to, when they do a puppet, they swallow the words. I'm going, you're spitting it out. It's also the Henson technique. People before Henson used to just do it, keep the hand still. But with Henson, I remember they spit the words out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more like in your face.
What's your favorite puppet?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I once made a whole puppet for Carter G. Woodson, father of Black history. Now, that one I couldn't do the voice for because it would have been kind of odd for an old black man to sound like a white lady. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I worked him Von Rakusa, which means I was all draped in black, and his feet were attached to my feet, and
I was going to ask you about the full puppets, like because you have the feet and you have the hands, and then you have to do the mouth, the song or the dialogue. Right. That takes a lot of practice. I mean,
Yes, you have rehearsal for that show since it was someone else doing the voice. There was rehearsal and choreography for what was happening during the
Now,
show.
is anybody else in your family creative at all? Or?
My father was a meteorologist. My mother was a secretary and then a homemaker. So,
Any brothers and sisters? Or?
I have a brother that was worked for Microsoft and did all
Okay.
that kind of inventing of chips and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even though it is technical, that is creative too.
It is, and he was also very good. He had perfect pitch, musically. My mother also played the piano.
Oh, so there was some musical
Creative DNA.
Yes.
Yeah. My mother was a singer, so my mother would constantly say, "Oh, sing, sing, sing," and I would be like, "No, I want to act. I want to act." And nobody in my family really acted, so I acted because I had all these family members who were crazy, like they were real characters. So I wanted to act,
me
but
about
but I ended up doing both, singing now too. So yeah,
And right too.
right now and so forth. So I want to see you perform,
Okay.
and we want to do a little treat for everyone who's viewing this. She's quite talented,
Catherine,
and
hold on to Chanel because she might.
yeah, and our
out,
dog
so.
might freak out a little bit, although she does like stuffed animals. So anyway, Nancy, take it away.
Do you want me to start with the pig or the parrot?
Let's start with the parrot, because the pig has an attitude, right? So
Chanel's looking like, what is going on here?
so this is going to be funny.
Oh, hello, Peter.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Good.
Oh, look who's here. Yes, I know. I know who's here. Well, I'm going to tell you. It's the lovely Chanel. Hi. Oh, you look so adorable.
Chanel's like staring.
Okay, are you going to sing for us? Here we go. 1, 2. Patty, that did not sound correct. You're a little horse. You're not a horse. You're a parrot. Okay, here we go. 1, 2.
Oh.
What was that?
Oh,
Now let's. Oh, you need to warm your voice up. Try this. Go la 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 la.
oh.
Try again.
Oh, what happened?
Me 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 me. Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Meow.
You're not a
You're not
cat.
a cat.
Try again. La 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 la. Moo moo. How now? You're not a cow. Try again. La 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 la. Ee-ah. Well, you are acting like a donkey. Here, one more time. La 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 la. Nay! Quit horsing around. There's only one thing to do when she gets like this. I'm going to tickle her. Are you ready now? Okay. Nary had a little lamb, then she ate the frying pan. What? That's not right. Try again. Nary had a little goose who liked to drink orange juice. Say excuse you. Okay, excuse you. No, I said just say excuse me. That's what I said. Excuse you. No, I said excuse you. Oh, excuse me, Peter.
Oh, you're excused.
Okay.
Yay.
Nary had a little dog who liked to bark like a frog. What? No. Try again. Okay, I'll try another one. Little Sophie has lost her Jeep and can't find the keys to her Porsche. Leave her alone and she'll come home eating spaghetti and cream cheese. Spaghetti and cream cheese? Don't knock it until you try it. I think I'll pass. Kind of nauseates me. You think that would be good? Do you think that
Oh,
would be
yay.
good? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you like Chanel? Did you like it?
Oh.
Did you like it? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kisses. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you.
So, what type of actress were you when you studied acting? Like you did character parts, or
Character parts usually.
What kind of roles did you usually play?
When I went to school, they would have 32 male roles in a play.
yeah,
And then they'd have 2 female.
Yeah.
So you didn't get a lot of stage
Not like
time.
today, everything is, more female roles now.
So certain female actresses got to play a lot of stuff
Mm.
because they say, "Oh, well, you're good in that. You get to do it."
Sure, yeah.
Right.
So
right.
that's why I was in the, and I was also a dance major until I.
Oh, what kind of dance did you
I,
do?
I did modern ballet.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm always fascinated by dancers because their body is like their instrument, like they can move in certain ways. When I was a kid, I would do tap dancing a little bit, but not really full onset dancing. I think Chanel really liked what you did.
Oh, she did.
She's like really totally.
I should know.
So Nancy, what's the creative process for you?
I look at what's got to happen within, like, I set up my Mother Goose show just using, and I picked Mother Goose because I'm going, oh, everything's in public domain.
Ah,
No,
interesting.
no
That's right. I
royalties.
didn't think about that.
So and what's a character that I can age into?
Right.
Because
Mrs. Claus?
yeah, Mrs. Claus and Mother Goose is definitely, a character. In fact, I started playing her when I was young enough to play other. I mean, I was still doing, parties as Snow White.
Right, exactly.
And
So, how many years have you done Mrs. Claus?
getting close to 40.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And so what's your your dialogue for Mrs. Claus? Can you give us an example of I know you're not dressed like her right now, but
Okay, let's see.
how does she talk? Like, how do you get that sound that makes you different than?
Than just me, because
Yeah.
I do lots of different voices. So let's see. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, and visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Ma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. The moon on the crest of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. Yet what did my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick I knew in a moment it must be St.
Wow.
Very good.
And we can go on.
Yeah.
I did a show in Miami where I did both the Hanukkah puppet show, and I had giant dancing dreidels and latkes and everything, and then I had a very somber, full about a 4-foot high puppet that would come out and do the blessing,
Right,
the Hanukkah blessing.
right.
So,
Nice.
but then I go change the costume, put on padding, come out as Santa Claus, do the night before Christmas as Santa, using a very low voice.
Yeah,
and I
I
would
guess you
sing
have
it.
to, yeah.
So what do you want to do in the future for you as an artist? Spread out your wings. What is your aim to?
I would like to get to. I would love to be able to do Mrs. Claus in a film, and to do a whole series. I think Mrs. Claus has a lot to say for kids, and I had the experience.
She's been overshadowed by Mr. Claus.
Yes.
Yes, she has. It's time for
It's
her.
It's time for the woman.
Time for her to. We say it's a year of the woman, and it is time for her to come out of the shadows. Because let's face it, she's the one that's been running the North Pole.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. yeah.
Santa's busy doing his little.
And Santa's a
stuff.
little heavy, so he has to
Yeah,
be
he has to
getting
move
huge
around.
meals.
Yeah, and and it's time. I'm sneaking vegetables into his cookies now.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
we've got
Because you got to put him on a diet.
Yeah.
Let's try the pig skit, because the pig skit is a little over the top. And she explained what he's got a little bit of an attitude, the pig. So this is another one of her characters.
This is Petunia. Petunia, how are you doing today? Ha! Petunia? What's the matter? Angry. Why are you angry? Don't like it. You don't like what? You don't like baths. Don't like baths. What's wrong with it? don't like it. What do you like instead? I like mud. You like mud? Oh, so why don't you get... But what's the matter? You're angry. Yes, I know. Why don't you take a nice deep breath like this? Like this. Hi-ya! Okay, and now stomp your feet and get your anger out. Like this. Hi-ya! That'll work too. Now let's sing a happy song. Like what? How about when you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. When you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If don't like it, well, what else? How about gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face. No way. What's the matter? How about I wanna be happy? No way. I wanna be happy. Okay. Well, what would make you happy? Mud? I don't know a song called Mud. That's because you're not a pig. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present my friend Petunia Penelope Pig singing a very special song called Mud. Mud, mud, glorious mud, nothing quite like it for cooling the blood. Follow me, follow, down to the hollow, where we will wallow in glorious mud. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay! So when you make a puppet, do you use paper mache? Like, how do you mold
Some of
the
my
face?
early puppets were, and I also did mask work too. In fact, my first puppet show that I did at a puppetry festival in Atlanta, my last piece, I did masks, and the other puppeteer that was working with me came out, and we had, it was very visual, sort of a cross between masking and dance stuff.
And you paint it, and you
Yes.
put the...
Yeah, I used Celastic back. Now you can't get Celastic. Celastic's one of those banned fibers. But back in the day, they didn't care about the fact that you're working with very deadly chemicals. So, I made those kind of puppets that way too.
Yeah. How long does it take you to make a puppet?
Some puppets have taken me like 30 hours to make. Some puppets you can construct really fast. I actually taught kindergartners how to do soft sculpture puppets in a 4-week session.
Wow.
Kids that had never couldn't even use scissors yet. I taught them how to use needle and thread and do soft sculpture.
Amazing. Yeah, I would think a kid doing that, and actually, I remember...
kids love puppets.
I remember being in art class as a kid, and when I did something and accomplished something, it was like it was a really big
way too.
It's wonderful.
And I've had kids that would not relate to a regular person, but they would talk to a puppet. I did one class one time with special ed, and the instructors came to me. He said it was a 22-year-old autistic. He never reacted, and he reacted to my puppet.
Oh, that's amazing. You made a change to somebody's life through just art.
Art is very powerful, and the fact that we do not support it in our schools anymore is a crime.
It is a crime.
It is a crime. Yeah. Because without art, I'd probably be 6 feet under. I mean, as a writer, actor,
you definitely wouldn't be happy.
I would not be happy. I mean, you were born creative. Peter has been born creative.
So have you.
And so have I. We don't know any other way. I mean, when I look at people and they're not creative, I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be some passion somewhere. And there are people like that. They're just not creative. They just can't see. They can't visualize. They can't. And I just feel like I just can't understand that. I cannot wrap myself. And, I'm not judging anyone, but I just can't wrap, I'm so used to being creative, born this way. And, I'm sure you have the same.
Oh, yeah. It was a big shock to me that people couldn't visualize, because I know how to draft patterns for costumes. I could just look
That's right. You do costumes, too. I forgot.
Yes. And when I costumed my first touring children's theater, I couldn't believe that other people didn't know how to do it. I'm going,
yeah.
But I can do it.
So you say you have a whole array of costumes. Can you tell us how many costumes you have at
I
home?
don't know that I have a number, but I have Mother Goose costumes. I have Mrs. Claus, and very, very many looks for Mrs. Claus. I have Western costumes, both cowboy style costumes or old prairie costumes. I have costumes for the 1920s, 1930s.
Oh, nice.
I have Edwardian costumes. I have tons of Victorian costumes.
So theater companies, if you're looking for a costume, contact Nancy.
And it's not just costumes. I have hats.
That's right.
Hats are so hard
She's
to
a hat
find.
lady. She's a hat lady.
I have.
Get your hats here.
Get your hats here.
Yeah, I have. And that's a program I hope to do one day with
Wow.
a bunch of hats.
Wow. Yeah, I
So-
had a bunch of hats from my aunt from the 1940s and 50s. And at the time, I didn't know what to do with them, so I donated them. But they were when they made a hat, it was very well made,
Yeah.
Not
A lot of
like
character,
now.
a lot of passion. Anyway, we need to wrap up the show.
Sure. And your website.
So,
Is
Nancy, you want to tell the audience?
NancyJeanGray.com.
Nancy,
NancyJeanGray.com.
Okay, that's easy enough. Okay.
And so the process continues. The creative process continues.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for being on the Creative Process podcast.
Thank you for asking me, Peter, and thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
And thank you to our wonderful
Thank you,
hostess on
Chanel
the
Bella,
floor.
who got bored.
See you on the next show of the Creative Process podcast.